I don't need it. I don't need it. I definitely don't need it. I don't need it. I don't need it. I don't need it. I don't need it.
Do it.
I need it!
Did y'all see how he grabbed that boy? Look at this shit right here. Is he Loki in him? That boy got Kaido getting Loki? Oh, now he laughing? You ragdogged the king of beasts and you laughing?
You were good, kid. Real good. But as long as I'm around, you'll always be second best, see?
Kaido, you in a heat patrol.
Oh my god.
Oh no, how'd that get in there? Number 7 trending on Twitter. Followed immediately afterward by a man who came back from the dead in Machine Gun Kelly. Looks like both Kaido and Eminem's Conqueror's hockey-coded attacks couldn't do the job. Now for the thing that brought you here, of course. One Piece, chapter 1044. The most important chapter in One Piece history, by far. This is a landmark moment, and I'm happy, overjoyed, thrilled, grateful that I have been here to witness it. And pour one out for each and every single person who's been a fan of One Piece that is no longer with us. Because this right here, this is just, I had the biggest smile looking at this chapter. And of course, reading the spoilers a whole week almost in advance. Well, not a week in advance, but on Monday, to my better judgment. A friend introduced me to spoilers, and I've been a pig rolling around in mud along with thousands upon thousands of other people who you all were on Reddit too, looking at it with just sentences, no scans or anything. But now that it's out, I want to finally talk about it. And you see what this is titled, but don't get this twisted at all. This is by far and away one of my favorite stories of all time. I put this easily in top 5. It may even be 1 at this point. I'm not even sure. But when people look at my previous video, the Wano is the worst arc in it, they automatically think, well, that means F in their head. No, almost every single One Piece chapter has been B or A. I just think Wano has been a C+ to a B- because there's been a lot of hype moments, and there hasn't been enough of an emotional connection in a lot of different ways, storytelling wise, as much as an Enies Lobby or Marineford and things of that nature it had. But in getting to the problem that I'd had with this, it's just, I think Luffy has lost a bit of the thing that made him unique among other shonen characters, in the fact that he now has something that has been bloviated to be so special, so powerful, so monumentally great in this fruit that he has. And when I first heard and saw that it has a Zoan fruit, I was like, what? This man has a Zoan fruit. I never would have guessed that. I never guessed that. I know there are many people who've thrown up theories around us. A Zoan fruit. I would have thought special paramecia or maybe some type of Logia, but a Zoan, never. And I know there are so many fans, including myself, of One Piece that are happy them reincarnation allegations were dropped or they were ill-founded. Just false news. Thank you. Thank you so much. And Oda isn't just this man that makes things up as he goes along. He has had this in his bag for quite some time. As you see, he has laid breadcrumbs upon breadcrumbs throughout the many years the show has been going on. And this was always his plan. And only a few individuals could sniff at that plan. This person right here should be given a gold star for life and an Academy Award on Reddit for coming up with this 7 to 8 months in advance before this chapter even came out. But I think the cost is a little bit higher than I would have liked, because coming into this arc, yes, Luffy had gotten stronger, but compare him coming into this arc to how he's going to leave. He has so many damn stones, so many different added tools to his bag. I would have liked this to have been across 2 different arcs, but to have them all in one, some of which don't bother me as much since he had been learning how to do conquerors was the primary subject of Wano in general. We just didn't know it because he was doing armament. That's something Mr. Morge had expounded upon in a great way and things. So it wasn't necessarily that, but when you add everything up, it's just a lot in one arc, to where you go from being right-hand commander level to Yonko level and above. To me, that's crazy. Why does Goku look like Luffy right here? Anyway, what I loved about Luffy was the fact that he has a relatively, or had, I should say, a fruit that wasn't considered to be good by any stretch of the imagination, but through his mind and his creativity, his malleable mind, he was able to craft for himself a fruit that worked for him supremely. And a lot of people had trouble dealing with and things, but it was special this whole time. And I know he had to put in the work in order to awaken it, but it just lessens that overall value that I think One Piece had prior to this revelation. And as I said, this isn't something that Oda just thought of and decided to do willy-nilly. You can make the argument that he probably had this in mind since the very first episode, which is just, it's mind-boggling to me. The man, he's on another level when it comes to writing, to foresight. It's amazing. I'm mystified by the man. And I saw some people complaining about, the cartoony-like elements in here. Oda is pushing the boundaries of what to expect from a shonen or an anime in general at this level. Most people, we have our preconceived notions from other manga and other anime that things should be more serious when things have reached a certain point in the story where, oh, this person's going up against this big bad person. It should be a serious tone. It should be the... Oda has been able to balance whimsical, funny nature alongside serious undertones. And that's just masterful. That's genius. He is pushing the envelope of what a shonen is and what it can be. I admire that greatly. That's monumental to me. I don't think enough people are giving him credit just for that aspect. And it's not like One Piece has been any cartoonish in its past. And I remember Oda had said that, Luffy is like his favorite character to draw just because of how many things that he can do with Luffy. And, as someone who writes, you will hit a point where you get that writer's block type thing. But he says it always brings a smile to his face when he draws Luffy doing these things, just because he's so fun to draw. He's so many different things he can do. Now with the revelation that he is basically only limited to his imagination, which I think is that's just wild to me. You can do even more with them. But before I had made this video and talked with friends about the chapter, there's this sentiment of, there was a lot of things that Luffy has in his favor that he's just so far and away head and shoulders better and more capable than the other members of his so-called class or generation at being able to accomplish these things and set out to find the One Piece, which I agree with them wholeheartedly. There's no one who's close in the race other than Blackbeard, but that's only hearsay. He's never on screen for us to even know anything of what he's doing. And he doesn't have a Robin. And Robin is the key. It's just everything works in Luffy's favor in such a way where he has the best navigator, he has the best helmsman, he has the best decipherer and Robin. He has everything he needs to be successful and is laid on so thick. Damn it, again, I'm sorry. That I don't know how this keeps happening. I don't know where this I don't know. I'm holding it for a friend. It's not mine. It just seems Luffy has all the candy on Halloween from the neighborhood, and there aren't any houses left. There's no candy for anyone else, and no one has any chance of getting anything. But we're in the end game now, and that was what I was trying to tell to friends that I had this conversation with. It's been over 20 years. He can be OP now because you kind of have to be. We're on the precipice of getting to the final lane that we're going to drive in. So, I wish most of the worst generation had played a greater role in this prior and were maybe introduced earlier, maybe a little bit, or at the time they did was perfect. But in the new world, we just didn't have as much of a presence from them. And then the absence of bounty hunters, really. Zoro is like the only bounty hunter that's still relevant, and he doesn't even do that anymore. There's little things here and there, but I don't know. This fruit, this implications of this fruit, this could potentially be something very hazardous to One Piece, where it could go down just some OP type thing. I don't know how Luffy struggles in any fight that isn't against an admiral. Even then, I don't know, since he can just do so much, but we'll just have to see. That's my only gripe with this, but this was a beautiful chapter for me. This was just One Piece fans everywhere. What a time to be alive to experience this. So if you wouldn't made it this far, thank you so much for watching. Like, comment, what do you think about this? Tell me. I'll see you on the next one.